Hi, welcome to Hamtech DJ AVATA. Let's get everything set up. First thing we'll do is pair the drone with our remote control. Fully charge the battery and the controller. Press and hold the on button on the controller and the drone. Then you just hold the button on the controller and the drone. You get all this beeping as they pair. You get the solid lights, then you know they have paired. You can see that there. Next, got the Motion 2 controller. Hold down the power once, then twice. Of course, charge it up using the USB. The lights are now flashing. And let's hold down the power on both. Just once. And the other one. Wait for the same process. Doesn't work first time, just hold it down on the other one again. There you go, that's all paired now. The power adapter for the goggles 2 looks like this. You've got the on-off button and you charge it with the USB-C here. So we'll take off this protective shield, and in here we've got the pair button, which is that one there. That's your pair button. So of course fully charge everything, and then the button is there. Press once and hold. That's the goggles on, and then it's the same for the drone. On and hold. They're both on, and now to pair, we're just going to follow the same process, and that is hold down the button on the drone and then press the pair button. Now we'll all beep, and that's it. We've got solid lights there. Let's have a go at the firmware now. So we've got the app on our phone, the black USB cable that came in the box. Put that into your goggles. If you look here, it's just here, and always put the adapter that they gave you in at the goggle end first. I'm not sure why, but that's what works better. That's plugged in, and then a normal USB cable. It does have to be a data USB cable going into your phone. I find that some charging cables, they'll charge your phone, but they won't actually carry data. So that's what we mean by that. Got my ham radio in the background because I am a ham operator. Okay, so we've got the app running. We're going to plug in our phone, plug into our phone. And we've got some permissions here that we will grant. So it says open DJ Fly to handle DJ Glass, open DJ Fly to handle DJ Glass. Again, I'm just going to click the box and click OK. And it's asking me to allow external settings, so I'll do that. While using app, allow. Everything's initializing, so hopefully we'll start to do the firmware. Got this nice little stand here for my phone, but there's lots of types you can buy, but it will be convenient. Gives me the micro SD card slot warning, and I actually did leave that open when I started the fans earlier, so that gave me a surprise because it had this loud sound. If you look here, it's just there, the little SD card slot. That beeping is when you leave things turned on too long, it will beep at you to tell you it's going to turn it off. Anyway, the SD card slot, which is just here, and you will pull off easily with your finger. It's just getting the USB cable to it, and when you do plug the cable to it, it will actually read all the contents of the SD card, which I think is pretty good. There you are. On the left, you've got the USB-C, and on the right, you've got the SD cards. Just remember to put that in. I've also noticed, because I know when you buy this item, you think about doing the care package, which is very, very sensible with an item like this. I noticed that you can buy quite easily the surround for the fans, the actual fans, and if you turn over here, this cage as well. Very inexpensive, surprisingly inexpensive to buy, and the original parts as well, so quite good. Anyway, back to the phone. All of these devices will time out if you leave them on too long, so I'm just going to click OK here. Screen view output from the goggles. So now we have to go to the goggles and control, you know, I can't click OK on the phone, I have to click OK on the goggles. They use a sort of touch and slide pad here that I'm learning as I make this video. So everything that you would see in the goggles, you're going to see here. So if I just tap now for OK, like so. Once we pressed OK, we went into this screen here. Now, if you stay on the blue training screen, complete the training steps, and then it'll take you to the camera screen. We haven't looked at firmware yet. I just wanted to show you that with the goggles, I've had to put some red tape there so I can just sit here and practice the pad, because it can be quite confusing. But let's just quickly show you that, because it took me a while to get used to it. So you've got this square pad here. So the goggles are facing the normal way as if you were wearing them. So you've got the pad on your right hand side. If you swipe from the left, you get this settings window, and it does time out and return back. If you swipe back, you know, towards the middle to the back, it will vanish. Okay, let's just do that again. From the back to the middle, and then from the middle to the back, it vanishes. Let's turn it on, do it again. Now this will work at the front and the back, and it's exactly the same. See that? Settings. And you can make it vanish. So let's leave it on. And then we can now go up and down this list. So at the top it says status, album, transmission, settings, and then more. So if you've used DJI equipment before, you'd be familiar with it. If not, you're going to need to learn every step. So let's just tap settings, see what we've got here. So we've got a calibrate option there, DJI AVATA switch, and aircraft is below power. So I'm just going to put a new battery in. Let's keep going down. So to go back, so we're getting DJI AVATA and switch here. We can remember, I'm learning with you guys and girls. So it's opened up this window, and it's showing the DJ03 air unit and the DJI FPV air unit. So you can switch. And I've had the aircraft off thing. And do you know what I use to keep the aircraft cool? Just a little fan. USB fan. Because whilst we're learning, we do tend to just leave them sat on the desk. So anyway, let's keep learning. So let's see if we can close that menu. See that we swipe to the left and it closed the menu. We've got all the different settings. Have you noticed I'm accidentally touching items? So I've gone to the bottom. Let's go up one. I'm going back, swiping back like that. Then we're going up in the middle. Then tapping in the middle to select. And we've got safety. That seems like quite an important one. And everything's saying normal for calibration. It does say there's an error with the goggles. Just swipe down. So we're not going to show everything now. Just going down. What else we got? Google's ESC beeping, advanced settings, and then to go back, just swipe back. Look, and you've gone back one. Now we've got control, That beeping again is just the remote control's been on for too long. Let's go back. And then about, that'll be your firmware and stuff, I'm guessing. There's my firmware, serial number, aircraft firmware, battery cycle. We can even reset it. I didn't realize we could reset everything. We swipe back, but you go from the middle back. It's taking you back. We've got one there for display. Tap in the middle. Brightness, display, scaling, and home point. Yeah, makes sense to set that. You do want it to return home. Let's have a quick look at safety. Tapping it in the middle. And then max flight, return to home, altitude, update home point. Not sure if I got any GPS lock here. Let's tap it. Setting home point failed, yeah, because there's no GPS lock in this room. So going back down, let's go back again and go down to more. So going back till we get there, down to more, select the middle. Yeah, there is an app you can download and practice flying, and you can actually use that on Windows as well, I've noticed, and this will work on an iOS Apple phone. Of course it will. Works great actually. Back. So you look down here, we're seeing no GPS lock, strength of the signal there, battery charge on the goggles. Let's turn back on the remotes and see if we go back and look at firmware. So I'm not getting any firmware options here. Height, what does N stand for? Screen output view from goggles. There you go. Touch panel to adjust. Go back. It says here firmware, 2 firmware available. And just install, and it's starting to do that. I'm sure it will take ages. So it's taken us back, and I'm just going to wait now. But you know, I'll say again, if you get the blue screen and you can't see the camera or the image from the drone, you need to complete the training. That was my mistake. My fan is doing a great job. You feel it now. There's no warmth there at all, so I highly recommend that. And another tip is to insert every battery you've got into your drone, and it will update the firmware of each battery. I've watched many videos, but the Drone Creative is the one where I've drawn lots of my learning. So thanks very much. You do need to bind the drone to your remote to get your DJI Care refresh. These goggles, they are very minimalistic. You hear everything rebooting, and the antennas are just cool. So I know there's other goggles called, I think they're called Explore. Well, I'm hearing everything reboot, so that I think that's a good sign. I'm installing DJI goggles firmware. I'll just reconnect. And it's asking me which one I'm going to use. So let's just click this remote. Hopefully that's on. Just make sure. Right, it's definitely on. We get the OK, and then so once you get the OK, you can use the buttons again when you're wearing the goggles. Or as you know, I've covered the sensor, so I just tap OK, and that's it. We're back to viewing, and so really you're ready for flying now. I wouldn't go anywhere unless you have plenty of GPS locks here. We've got none at the moment, otherwise it's not going to hover and stay in one place. So what I would do is just keep practicing the pad, your settings menus, and etc. You've got that menu there as well, which has got your camera, volume, brightness, etc. That came from the top. From the bottom, you've got these video ones, which I've not used. Swiping along like so. Practice and learn all these. Of course, you've got the manual. Swipe down to get rid of, swipe up to bring back, swipe down from the top, swipe up to remove. Settings is front and back, up and down for the different items. You definitely, I think, want return home. That's the one, and the key one I think is making sure this thing will return home. But it depends how you're flying it. If you're a newbie like me, then you know it's going to be different than a pro. There you are, the settings there. Thanks for watching my channel. Bye for now.